Hi everyone, welcome. We're doing relying on our backs as well. We're going to start off in tabletop with the toes tucked. We're coming into our rolling hip circles or maybe tabletop hip circles. And I'm just going to invite you to close your eyes and then just that natural breath. So inhale through the nose. And then maybe a gentle exhale through slightly parted lips, and then just slow the movement down. And it's just like mindful movement. So just being aware how your body's feeling as you're circling those hips, checking in with that lower back, mid back, upper back, checking in with that neck, trying to keep the neck in line with the rest of the spine, so you're just not dropping that head down. Checking in with the wrists, the shoulders, checking in with the hands. And then just checking in with the legs, the feet. And then just come back to that breath. Soft and easy. No forcing, no controlling. Just allowing yourself to be present, like your breath. The breath is not in the past, nor the future. Next time the hips come to the heels, just slowly change direction. And then just check back in with yourself now that you're moving in this direction. Checking in with how you're feeling. Do you need to make any adjustments? Checking back in with that breath. And then just checking in with the mind. How are you feeling today? And if any thoughts come to mind, your to-do list, just allow it to drift away. You can deal with all that later. And then slowly come back, shoulders over the wrist, and just allow the hips to float back to the heels, down in this high child, maybe a little sway from side to side. We're coming into a rolling cat and then coming into that gentle cow. One breath per movement, just work with your own breath pattern, your own length of inhale, your own length of exhale. Come to stillness, and then when you're ready, roll up, shoulders over the wrist, coming into your cat. Slowly uncurl. Just allow the chest to float forward, just feel that tailbone lift. Just be careful with the neck and that lower back. And then just allow the hips to float back to the heels. I'm just going to carry on in your own time, rolling up, uncurling, that nice easy cow, hip to heels, work with that own length of breath. And then just checking back in with how you're feeling. How's that body feeling? How's the breath? And just your own range of movement. Let's go for 2 more. And I'm coming to my last one. And then we'll all meet back in neutral. So shoulder blades on the back of the rib cage, pelvis in neutral, shoulders over the wrists. And then slowly flutter the eyes open if they were closed. And let's have a little lean to the right, step that left foot forward, left palm, left thigh. And then slowly bring that belly round to the left and just allow that right ear to come down towards that right shoulder, right wrist, leaning back into that right shoulder blade. And then just slowly bring the top of the foot to the floor. And on your next inhale, slowly bring that belly around to center, slowly coming up to that 90-90 kneeling lunge. Push down to the top of that right foot, lifting out from the knees, lift up from the rib cage. Check that you're not dropping that head forward, pelvis in neutral, gentle hug into the midline. And then bend those elbows, goddess arms, so broad across the collarbones. That gentle hug in, gentle rotation to the left, and then center and right. Center flowing round to left, flowing round to the right. One more. So left, center, and right. Slowly come back to center. Float the right fingertips down. Shoulder over that wrist. Open up. Maybe extend the left fingertips up towards the ceiling. Releasing that right ear to that right shoulder. Reaching up through the fingertips of that left hand. Reach, reach, reach. Take a nice deep breath in and exhale. Float the left fingertips down and just reverse that twist. Pause in here. And then just slowly bring that right hand down, bring that left hand in, just crawling back to the tabletop, tuck the toes. And let's come into our first downward facing dog, that lovely inverted V shape. So pushing up through the arms, lengthen the armpits, relax the head and neck, lots of bend in those knees, so don't worry about heels to floor. Think about lengthening out that spine. Imagine someone hoisting those hips up high, that gentle hug in. Take a nice deep breath in here. And a nice long easy exhale. Lower the knees to the floor. A little roll to the left, step that right foot forward, bring the right palm, right thigh, come into that kneeling twist, the belly to the right, left ear, left shoulder, left wrist, leaning back into that left shoulder blade. Take a nice deep breath in, bring the top of the left foot to the floor, sweep the right fingertips, left fingertips all the way up, 90-90 kneeling lunge, pushing down to the top of that left foot, reaching out to the left knee, pelvis in neutral, gentle hug in, bend the elbows, goddess, keep that gentle hug in, keep that pelvis in neutral, rotate right, and slowly through centre to the left, just a small range of movement, floating through right, centre round to the left. One more each side, right, centre, left. Come back to centre, left fingertips to the floor, underneath the shoulder, reach the right fingertips up. Maybe release that left ear down. Take a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, float the right fingertips down, bring the belly round to the left, reversing the twist. And then slowly soften down, and then just slowly lean to one side as you crawl that right foot back. Tuck the toes, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Lots of bend in the knees, set your base. Keep that gentle hug in, relax the head and neck. You're just going to do that little crawl, a little reverse bear crawl to the back of the mat, hands to the feet. You can do this with both knees on the floor, that feels more comfortable for you. So have a little lean to one side, step the hand back, a little lean to the other side, stepping it back. Heels lower, allow the hips to float back. Lots and lots of bend in the knees. Allow the rib cage, the upper body to rest on the thighs. Pause in here, release that head and neck. And then just slowly bring the right lower arm to that right thigh, left lower arm to that thigh. Bring awareness to your centre, to the belly, and then just roll up vertebrae by vertebrae. Roll those shoulders back, soften the knees, pelvis in neutral, sweep the arms out and up. And then as you exhale, soften the knees, either hinge forward or roll forward. Maybe allow the arms to float back. Maybe the fingertips come to the floor as you roll up, or maybe you bring the lower arms back to the thighs. I'm just going to roll it up one more time. Relax that head and neck. Pelvis in neutral, soften the knees as you sweep your arms out and up. And exhale, either roll, hinge forward. One more, rolling it up, checking in with that lower back. So you're just being aware of how your body's feeling. Just working with your own range of movement. Slow, and you come forward and then walk it out, downward facing dog. Just taking the time, set your base, relax the head and neck, and then just maybe pedal out the feet, so bending and lengthening one leg at a time. And just that natural breath. So I'm going to try and inhale through the nose, and then if you exhale, it feels more comfortable to come out for slightly parted lips. That's fine for our practice today. If you want to inhale and exhale through the nose, that's perfect too. But always try and inhale through that nose. Exhale, float the knees down towards the floor. And then have a little roll to the right. And then just swivel those feet round. Feet flat on the floor, weight even on both seat bones. Open up the chest so your fingertips can point forward or out to the side. Lift that chest up, check that nice C shape in that spine. And just a gentle knee roll. And I'm just going to give you the option now. I'm just going to demonstrate. The knees can roll over to the right, and I'm just swiveling my fingertips to face the back of the mat. Just going to try and keep that shoulder in line with the wrist. Keep that shoulder nice and stable. You can stay here. You can sweep the arm up, and then I'll come over to the other side, and I'll do the same thing, sweeping the arm up, or just staying here. So when you're ready, let's roll the knees over to the right, just slowly and carefully get that positioning right. Either stay still or sweep the arm up, and then slowly come back round to the left, just roll around, just taking your time. And I'm just going to carry on doing that. I'm just going to give you the option. As you come round to the right, set your base, shoulder, wrist. You can sweep the arm up, or you can lift and float the hips off the floor. Gentle activation of the glutes, and then slowly come back round. So just keep that gentle hug in. Slowly position your arm, shoulder, wrist. Seat bones can stay on the floor, or you can float them up. Gentle activation of the glutes, keep that gentle hug in. Just going to do 2 more each side. We're just taking our time, working with that natural breath, and then just checking in how we're feeling. So if you need to make any adjustments, or if you want to choose any other variation, please do so from what I've demonstrated. 1 more right. And I'm going to slowly come back round. 1 more left. Slowly come back round to centre. Just open up that chest. Just allow the knees to roll from side to side. And then from here, roll the knees to the right. Option to stay here. Or maybe just slowly come up to the knees. High kneel. Activate the glutes. Hinging down. And then just slowly roll over to the left, slowly come up, activate those glutes, hip extension, hip hinge down, and then just slowly roll back over to the right. I'm just going to do a few more of these. Fingertips or hands to the floor if you want to. Some of you may be able to keep the hands off the floor. Whatever works for you. We're just taking our time, rolling around, using those glutes, gentle hug in, hinging down. Next time you come over to the right, just pause in here for a moment, reach the fingertips up nice and tall, release the arms down, roll the right shoulder, left, right, left, right, and left. Hinge it down, slowly roll the knees over to the left. See if you can come up. You can use your thighs to help crawl up, glutes are on. Reach the fingertips up towards the ceiling. And then just slowly release. Roll that left shoulder. Really feel those shoulder blades moving. 1 at a time. Slowly float those hips down. Slowly swivel around. Gentle hug into the midline. Come down onto the lower arms. Lift that chest. Keep that gentle hug into the midline. If this feels uncomfortable, please come and lay completely on your back. Leg float, gentle hug in. Float that right knee off the floor, foot off the floor, knee in line with the hip joint. Float it down. Left knee, left hip. And just carrying on with that leg float. Keep that gentle hug in. Checking in with the head and neck. Checking with that lower back. And just check that the movement's coming from the hip joint. Just keep the foot relaxed. Just mobilising those hips a little bit more. And then just 1 more right, 1 more left. And then from here, just slowly roll down. Maybe you need to roll down via one side. Bring the feet hip width apart, not too close to the buttocks. Spread the toes wide, big toe man's in contact with the floor. Check that the knees aren't rolling in or out. Pelvis are neutral. Hip points level with that pubic bone, sacrum in contact with the floor. You're not pressing that lower back down to the floor. Arms halfway between shoulder height and the body, so you can really open out the chest. Allow the backs of the shoulders, shoulder blades come in contact with the floor. Palms facing up, soften the fingers and the hands. Check that that spine is nice and long. Lengthen the neck, so you're not jutting that chin up, so you're on the back of the head. Coming into a rolling bridge, so gentle hug in. And as you inhale, slowly lower that lower back to the floor and then just roll up vertebrae by vertebrae, low bridge. We're not coming to yoga bridge, just a low bridge. Pelvis in neutral. Exhale, roll it down, vertebrae by vertebrae. Just make any adjustments if you need to. Inhale, gently roll it up. As you exhale, roll it down, vertebrae by vertebrae. Pelvic tilt, come back to neutral. One more, then we're going to hold it up in that low bridge. Pause in here, pelvis in neutral, that gentle hug in, checking in with the feet, checking with the head and neck, and then from here, just slowly float the right heel off the floor, so the ball of the right foot and the toes are in contact with the floor, and the whole of the left foot. Slowly float that right heel down, and then the left heel. So a little heel raise, a little calf raise. So we're going to alternate between the right heel and the left heel. So we're really firing up the glutes, firing up those deep tummy muscles. You'll feel the legs working, the calves will start to warm up. Just pause in here. If you need to come back down, just roll back down, vertebrae by vertebrae. But if not, let's see if we can do 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. And then as you exhale, when you're ready to exhale, roll it down, vertebrae by vertebrae. Pause here and release, maybe a little knee roll, maybe hug those knees in. We are going to come back to that low bridge. And then when you're ready, let's set ourselves up, that gentle hug in, that gentle raise, you're drawing into the midline, drawing those lower ribs in. If you go to Pilates, you may think about scooping up and in, zipping up. You may think about a belt pulling in tight. Whichever visualization helps you. And then take a nice deep breath in, roll it up, vertebrae by vertebrae, low bridge. And I'm coming into those inner thigh squeeze, so we're going to allow the knees to squeeze in together towards the midline, and then slowly come back to centre. Squeeze in and back to centre. Making sure you're not rolling onto the outside edges of the feet. So big toe mounds, stay in contact with the floor. Spread those toes wide. Think about squeezing in with those inner thighs. Pelvis stays in neutral. Glutes are on. Lots to remember. And then remember, if you've had enough and you need to come down, we're just rolling it down, vertebrae by vertebrae. But if not, just stay with me for a few more. Let's see if we can do 10 more. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then when you're ready to exhale, roll it down, vertebrae by vertebrae. And then from here, just hug that right foot in, flex the foot so the toes point up to the ceiling, and then slowly slide that left heel away, lengthen out the left leg, toes point up towards the ceiling so that foot's flexed, feel the lengthening out down the back of that leg, maybe feel a slight stretch in the front of that left hip, pause in here. Take a nice deep breath in, nice long easy exhale. Slowly slide that left heel in, slowly bring it up towards the body, hug that left knee, and then let's repeat that. Right heel to the floor, slide that right leg away, lengthen it out, allow it to rest heavy on the floor. Both toes are pointing up towards this ceiling. Pause in here. Feel that lengthening down the back of that right leg. Maybe feel a slight stretch down that right hip, front of that right hip. And then slowly slide that right foot in, hug both knees in, maybe a little sway from side to side. And then bring the knees so they're in line with the hips. Lower legs perpendicular to the floor, so they're level with the knees, ankles level with the knees, just relax the foot. Option now to bring the hands behind the head, elbows point up and then curl up. You can pause here, or you can bring the hands to the legs, single leg stretch. Lengthen out that right leg so it can be high, and then I'm just bringing my hands to my left leg. The leg can be a little bit lower if that feels comfortable for you. Then that right knee comes in line with the hip, and then you're going to lengthen out that left leg, single leg stretch. So you're just going to carry on in your own time. Keep that gentle hug in. So you bring the knee in, and out, in and out. So curling up, maybe you can curl the shoulder blades off the floor. Maybe you need to keep the head resting in the back of the skull. So you're just keeping the back of the head pushing down into the hands. Or you can just bring the hands to the legs, whichever's working for you right now. And breathe. And breathe. Keep that gentle hug in. And let's do 4 more. 1, 1. If you need to, if you can. 2, you can rest. 3, 3, 4, and 4. Slowly hug the knees in, bring the head down, and then just gently roll the head from side to side. Now, if that feels too much, just come to your leg floats. You can do that single leg stretch, or you can keep those legs, alternate legs lengthening and bending, and then add in a rotation. Seeing how you're feeling. You may need to adjust. You might want to add in the rotation and do those single leg stretched legs. You may then want to come and rest to centre. You may then want to come to your leg floats or just rest completely. Just see how you feel. So when you're ready, let's set ourselves up. So knees in line with the hips, gentle hugging. I'm bringing my hands behind my head, bringing the elbows up, curling my upper body off the floor. And then from here, I'm going to lengthen out the left leg, keep my right knee bent and a slight rotation, maybe half an inch or an inch to the right. Slowly coming back to centre and then twisting straight round. So I'm staying lifted, lengthening and bending those legs, adding in the rotation. Check that you're not pulling on the head or neck. Remember, you can just do that single leg stretch or your leg floats. And then making sure that you're breathing. If you need to rest, please rest. I've lost count. So, I'm going to do 2 more each leg. So 1, 1, 2, and 2. I'm going to slowly come down. If you want to do 1 more each side, you can. I'm just going to have a little roll from side to side. And then wherever you are, float the feet down towards the floor, 1 leg at a time. Come into a full body stretch. So you can lengthen out both legs or you can lengthen 1 leg at a time. Just enjoy this lovely long stretch. And then from here, just release the arms down. Bend the knees, feet flat on the floor. Roll to one side. And then we're going to slowly meet up in tabletop. Great opportunity for a drink break. So in tabletop, set your base. Shoulders over the wrists, shoulder blades are neutral. Neck in line with the rest of the spine, so not dropping the head down. Jotting that chin up, tuck the toes, gentle hug in. Up, coming into our downward facing dog. Hips are high. Check your base, so push up through the arms, lengthen the armpits, hips are high. Maybe there's lots of bend in the knees, maybe they're slightly soft, so we're not worrying about heels to the floor. Just pause in here. And then from here, just float the right toes off the floor, bend that right knee, 3-legged dog. Weight even through both arms. From here, just step that right foot forward, bring that left knee down to the floor, bring the top of that left foot down to the floor, slowly coming up into your 90-90, kneeling lunge, fingertips up towards the ceiling, pelvis in neutral, gentle hugging. Bend the elbows, coming back to those goddess arms twists, so coming around to the right, flowing round to the left. Right, round to the left, 1 more. Checking that that pelvis is neutral, come back to centre, release the arms, tuck the left toes. You can use that thigh to help you, but we're lifting up, 2 lines, not 1, coming into our high crescent lunge legs, arms at the side, set your base. Take a nice deep breath in, float the arms, fingertips, lengthen out that right leg. Exhale, soften into crescent legs. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, soften. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, soften. Pause here for a moment. We're coming into a grounded warrior, bent knee. So from here, just hinge forward from the hips. Bring the fingertips to the floor. Walk the hands forward so the left toes float off the floor. You can pause here. Fingertips, hands, wrists underneath the shoulders. Keeping that right knee bent, option to bend that left knee, or the toes can stay on the floor, whichever feels comfortable for you. Check that you're not jutting that chin out, lengthen the spine, just pause in here. And then from here, just slowly lower, left toes to the floor, walking the hands back, bending that left knee, lean to the left, step and slide it back, downward facing dog. Set your base in your dog. Take a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, lower the knees to the floor, tabletop. Rolling hip circle, tuck the toes, and then just slowly come into those rolling hip circles. Just allowing that breath to soften. Working with your own range of movement. And then just slowly change direction. Next time the shoulders over the wrist, just pause in here, slowly come up to high kneel. Toes stay tucked, pelvis in neutral, activate those glutes, a little tightening of the glutes, gentle hug into the midline, fingertips up towards the ceiling, bend the elbows, goddess arms, pause in here. Or slide the shoulder blades into the walls of the midline, in towards the spine, a little baby back bend, baby camel. Check you're not jutting that chin up. So you've got the length in the neck, pause in here. And just release those arms, hinge it forward, tabletop, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Set your base. Take a nice deep breath in here. Nice and easy exhale. And then float the left toes off the floor, bend that left knee, square off the hips. And then step that left foot forward. It's not coming in between the hands, just behind the hands. Bring that right knee down, top of the right foot down. Slowly sweep the arms up, kneeling lunge. Bend the elbows, keep that pelvis in neutral, that gentle hug in, so hips pointing straight ahead as we rotate left, flowing through to the right, to the left. So the hip bones are pointing straight ahead. One more each side. Slowly come back to center. Release the arms down, tuck the right toes. Two lines, not one. High crescent, arms just dangling at the side while you set your base. That gentle hug in, right glute is on. And then inhale, lengthen, float the arms up. Exhale, soften. And lengthen as you inhale. And soften, one more. And soften down, just pause in here. Coming into that grounded warrior with bent knees, so just hinging forward. Fingertips to the floor, walk yourself forward on those fingertips, shoulders over the wrists, bending that back knee, or you can keep the right toes on the floor. Pause in here, keep that spine long, check that not jutting that chin up, and then slowly float right toes to the floor. Slowly walk back, lots of bend in that right knee, lean to the right, step and slide it back, downward facing dog. Lengthen out that spine, take a nice deep breath in. Easy exhale, tabletop. And then from here, toes tucked, hip to heels. Come into that rolling cat-cow, so just rolling up. Being careful of that lower back and neck as you come into that gentle cow, hip to heels. One breath per movement. Working with your own range of movement. One more. Cow. Shoulder blades over, shoulder blades in neutral, shoulders over wrist, toes tucked, high kneel, glutes are on, pelvis is in neutral, reach fingertips up towards the ceiling, bend at the elbows. Maybe stay here, maybe slide those shoulder blades in, so using those glutes for some hip extension, and then just bring the back of the hands to the glutes if that feels comfortable. So you can stay with you can stay with that chest opener. You can slide the shoulder blades in, or you can release the hands down. So just seeing what you feel like, and it may vary each time you do this practice. And release, maybe give those wrists a shake, those arms a shake. Take a nice deep breath in, slowly come to tabletop. I'm having a drink. And we're going to be adding on from here. So when you're ready, slowly coming up to your downward facing dog, set your base, pushing up through the arms, keep that gentle hugging, relax the head and neck. And then let's just float that right foot to the floor, bend that knee, square off the hips, weight even between both hands. Step that right foot forward, lower the left knee down towards the floor, top of the left foot, slowly sweeping it up, coming in to goddess arms in that kneeling lunge, gentle hug in, and let's begin our rotations, flowing all the way through right to left, keeping that pelvis in neutral, hip bones pointing straight ahead. Slowly come back to centre, release the arms, tuck the left toes, slowly come up, high crescent, pause in here, arms are dangling at the side, and then inhale, lengthen up towards the ceiling, exhale, soften, 2 more, 1 more, and then from here, hinging forward, coming into that grounded warrior with the bent knees. You can keep the fingertips on the floor or bring the palms to the floor. You have got the option to use blocks underneath your hands. Pause in here. I'm coming up onto my fingertips. You can stay here and bend and lengthen out that right leg. Or if you want to, you can come into that little Kundalini squat. I'm bringing my left knee to tap behind my right calf, bending that right knee. Lengthen, bring my leg back up. Checking that my head and neck are relaxed. So let's do 3 more, or you can just be staying still. So whichever version works for you. 1 more. And then from here, slowly lengthen out that left leg. And then slowly coming back, low lunge. Right lower arm comes onto that right thigh. Roll the belly open to the left. Left hand, left hip. Side angle variation with that right lower arm resting on that right thigh. Checking that that right knee is not rolling in. Weight even through both feet. Slowly come up, warrior 2. 1 breath per movement. We're going to flow into our reverse warrior and then into our side angle. Keep that gentle hug in and let's flow, reverse it. And then when you're ready, just float up and over. Side angle variation, and then when you're ready, float up and through, reverse, up and over, side angle, last one, reverse it, up and through, side angle, and then slowly come up, warrior 2, and then parallel the right foot, so the feet are parallel to the left long edge of the mat. Soften those knees, hinging from the hips, wide leg, forward fold, release the head. Remember, you can have lots of bend in those knees. Hands can be underneath the shoulders or maybe on the ankles or the thighs. Maybe you've got lots of bend and you're resting the elbows on your thighs. Maybe you'd like to make a little side lunge. I know, lots of different options, but just so that you've got little variations depending how you feel in each time. And then just that easy breath. Relax the head and neck. And then from here, transitioning into a low lunge at the front of the mat. Slowly start to swivel the feet round, walk the fingertips forward, low lunge. Lots of bend in that left knee as you transition, sliding it back, downward facing dog. Set your base. Then want to inhale, exhale, tabletop. Rolling hip circles, so tuck the toes, allow the hips to float towards the heels, start rolling. If you need to rest, maybe come to kneeling or maybe just come into child's pose. Next time the hips are down by the heels, slowly change direction. You're doing really well. And then just checking in with the breath. So this is just a chance for you to check in, come back to that breath. Shoulders over the wrist, toes are tucked, coming into your high kneel. Glutes are on, pelvis are neutral, reach the fingertips up towards the ceiling. Bend the elbows. Option to stay here. Option to slide the shoulder blades into the midline. Option to bring the back of the hands to the glutes or maybe the palms. Pause in here, opening out that chest. Feel those glutes are on, feel that hip extension, that gentle hug in. Check that you're not jutting that chin up. Just a variation of camel, just a back bend, chest open up. And then just slowly release, just hinge it forward, tabletop, and then hips up and back, downward facing dog. Just pausing here, maybe pedaling out the feet, and then we need to repeat that on the other side. So when you're ready, come to stillness, set your base, and then float the left toes off the floor, bend that left knee, square off the hips. Step that left foot forward, right knee to the floor, come into that 90-90 kneeling lunge, top of the right foot, sweep the arms up, bend the elbows, pelvis in neutral, that gentle hug in, and then let's flow, rotating left, flowing through centre to the right, 2 more. This is your last one left. And then slowly come back to centre, release the arms, tuck the right toes, slowly meet up in that high crescent lunge, set your base, soften the shoulders, gentle hug in, and let's inhale, lengthen, and exhale, soften, inhale, lengthen, exhale, soften, inhale, lengthen, exhale, soften. Just pause here for a moment. Coming into our bent knee, grounded, warrior three, hinging forward, hands catch the floor, walk forward. You can bring the palms down or use blocks. I'm standing on my fingertips, shoulders over the wrist, bending that right knee, left knee is bent. So you can stay here, bending and lengthen the leg. You can just stay still. You've got the option of tapping the left calf of that right knee, bending that left knee and lengthen. Tap, lengthen, tap and lengthen. 3 more if you're doing this, but you remember, you just rest when you need to. 1 more. And then just slowly lengthen out that leg, right toes to the floor, walking it back, low lunge. Swivel that back foot round, and left lower arms coming onto that left thigh, rolling the belly open. Side angle variation, right hand, right hip, pausing here. And then slowly come up, and then just checking in with the feet. I'm just going to straighten up my mat, everyone. Keep that gentle hug in. 1 breath per movement, flowing between our reverse and our side angle. So here we go, reverse warrior, checking in with that left knee. So just being aware of your whole body the whole time. And then 1 breath per movement as you flow up and over, reverse. Slowly flowing up and over, side angle. Rolling that belly open, up and over. Coming through to your side angle. And then just slowly coming up, warrior two. Swivel the left toes round, feet are parallel, soften those knees. Hip hinge, coming into your variation of wide leg forward fold. You can stay here. Fingertips or hands underneath the shoulders. Hands can come onto the ankles. You can come into little side lunges. Hands can be on the floor, or you can do your little side lunges with your hands on your legs. Remember, you can be high, you can be low, you can be in complete stillness. And then from here, let's come into our low lunge, just swiveling our feet, walking our fingertips, facing the front of the mat, low lunge. Bend that right knee, lean to the right, step and slide it back, downward facing dog, set your base. Take a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, bring the knees to the floor, tabletop. Toes are tucked, hips to heels. Remember, you can rest. Coming into our rolling cat. 1 breath per movement. Roll up cat, slowly and carefully. That nice easy cow. Chest float through. Tailbone lifts. I'm just going to carry on, like with your own range of movement. I'm coming into my last one. We'll all meet in tabletop, toes are tucked. Slowly come up, high kneel. Set your base. Glutes are on, gentle hug in. Reach the fingertips up towards the ceiling. Bend the elbows, option to stay here. Maybe slide the shoulder blades into the midline to that spine. Back bend here. Maybe bring the backs of the hands to the glutes or the palms to the glutes. Pause in here. Check that those glutes are on. You may be able to feel them firing up underneath your palms. You can stay here, or maybe you can bring the fingertips back to the heels, coming into camel. Pausing here, lift that chest, check that you're not dropping the head back. Pausing and breathing. And then take a nice deep breath in, slowly come all the way up. Slowly hinge it forward, plant the hands, and that's lengthening out that spine in our downward facing dog. Pushing up through the arms, really bend those knees, rest the head and neck. Take a nice deep breath in, one nice exhale through the mouth. Lower the knees to the floor. Have a little lean to the right, step that left foot forward, lizard. Pause in here, tuck the right toes. And then just float the hips backwards and forwards. Option to float the left ball off the foot, left toes off the floor, so you're on that left heel. Maybe the foot stays flat on the floor. We're not thinking about lengthening out that leg, all we're thinking about is hip to heels. Hip to heels, just taking your time. And then just slowly bring the shoulders over the wrists, and then just roll onto the outside edge. That left foot so the left knee rolls out. Slowly come back. If you want to pause here with that knee rolled out, you can. Sorry, my throat's getting really dry. Or maybe you want to come down onto your lower arms. Maybe both arms can come down. Maybe you can use a block underneath your arms. And then sometimes I just roll a little to the right and I let that left knee roll out to the side and just sort of around so you can see. Pausing here, checking there's no discomfort anywhere. Keeping that right shoulder over that right elbow. Maybe you just got both hands on the floor and you're just rolling that leg in and out. Maybe you're staying still. Maybe you're flexible enough to get both lower arms down, or you're using your block. And then slowly come up. And then from here, let's just transition into pigeon. Now, if you're not fancying pigeon today, you can come up to your 90-90 pigeon. I'll just demonstrate. We've got that leg up, that leg here, and you can come forward like so. But if not, just come down to your pigeon. Just shuffle around so you can see me this way. Whichever feels comfortable for you. Or it may feel more comfortable for you to do your figure of four, your reclined pigeon on your back. Now, you can stay on your lower arms. You can float the lower arms off the floor, make a fist and rest your head on the fist. You can use your yoga blocks. You can even be down low, whichever feels comfortable for you. And then I'm just going to ask you to check in with the hips. Check in with the left side, left knee, left ankle. Checking in with the right side, you can keep those right toes tucked if that feels more comfortable for you than that ankle joint. And I'm just allowing that breath to really slow down. And then from here, I'm just going to slowly come to our palms. Tucking those right toes, slowly, slowly, slowly coming to tabletop. Pause in here, maybe have a little wiggle. And then let's step that right foot forward and wide, hands on the inside. Tuck the left toes and just float the hips backwards and forwards. If you need to adjust that back knee back a little bit, please do so. I'm just going to think about floating the hips back. Just a variation of runners. Checking in with that breath. And then we'll bring the shoulders back over to the wrist and then just roll onto the outside edge of that right foot so the knee rolls out to the side, roll them backwards and forwards. If you brought that left knee back a little bit, try not to sink down through that left hip. Checking in with how you're feeling. And then if you want to come down and deepen, you can. You can bring the blocks, you can have a little lean to the left shoulder, left elbow. You can come onto the outside edge of that right foot so that left leg leans out a little bit more if that feels comfortable for you. You can roll backwards and forwards. You can be even on your palms. Just listen to your body, see what your body needs right now, what it needs in this practice. It may be different from your practice yesterday or the day before, it may be different from the practice in the future. Just seeing what feels right for you. And then just come to stillness. And then from here, I'm just going to slowly transition into pigeon. So I'm just gently heel toeing that right foot over. And then just bringing that knee back of the left foot, pausing here. I'm just taking my time. And then just remember your options. You can lie on your back. You can bring that right knee forward so the ankles in line with the hips. Play about that back leg so it feels comfortable for that hip. Stay here. You can come forward. So whichever you did on the left side, you're going to repeat on the right side. So we're not going to do two different variations. So whichever you did on the left, repeat it on the right. And then just checking in with that body, checking in with how you're feeling. Checking in with the breath. And we'll just slowly come to our palms. And then just very, very slowly and comfortably come into your tabletop. And then from here, just wiggle the hips back towards the heels, tuck those toes, have a little sway from side to side. Take a nice deep breath in, big sigh out through the mouth. Let's do that again. One more. And we're just going to come down to lie on our back. If you need to put your socks on or an extra layer, please do so. If you need to grab a drink, please do so. And we're just going to knee, lying on our backs, feet flat on the floor, arms down by the side of the body, halfway between the shoulders and the body. And then just a gentle knee roll from side to side. And as you're laying here, check that you've got the length in the spine, length in the neck, and on the back of the head, not the crown. That the sacrum's in contact with the floor, feet in contact with the floor, broad across the collarbones, backs of the shoulders, shoulder blades. Just keep them in contact with the floor. That gentle knee roll from side to side. Nice and easy. And then coming into a reclined frog. So from here, I'm just bending at the elbows and just bringing my upper arms closer to my body. Floating the right foot off the floor, right knee, right hip. Float the left knee off the floor, left knee, left hip. And then bringing the lower legs, ankles, so roughly in line, lower legs perpendicular. Flex the feet. And then just slowly allow the outside of the thighs to come into the hands. Just adjust those elbows so you can support. So I've got my elbows, upper arms in contact with the floor. I'm on the back of my head, lengthen the spine, not curling up that tailbone, and just pause in here. And then just relax those feet. Just that nice easy breath. And then just slowly circle the ankles. You have the option to allow the heels to float down towards the buttocks and circle here if that feels more comfortable for you. And then change direction of your ankle circles. And then just slowly use the hands to bring the knees in together. Hug those knees in towards the body, maybe a little sway from side to side. And then just slowly float that right foot down, that left foot down. Feet a little bit further apart so you can allow the knees to fall in together. Backs of the shoulders in contact with the floor, and just bring the hands together, make a big fist, and just keep the arms close to your body. Just roll out, making little circles with those wrists, and then change direction. You can bring the arms up a little bit higher if you want to. And then just shake those wrists and then float the arms down to the side of your body. Palms facing the ceiling. And then just that natural breath, soft and easy. Soften the forehead. Soften the space between the eyebrows. Soften the face. Relax the jaws so the lips apart slightly. Soften the throat, the chest, the ribs. Relax the belly. Fingers are soft, palms are soft, elbows soft, shoulders soft. Soften the toes, the feet, the knees. And just know that any time during our final relaxation, you can change position anytime you want to, but just slowly and quietly, so you don't disturb yourself too much. Now you can stay here in this not knee position. You can allow the knees to drift apart and slide the right heel down to that right corner, left heel to the left corner, allow the feet to flop over to the side. You can grab a cushion and place them underneath your knees. You can roll to one side, whichever side feels most comfortable for you, so whichever position feels comfortable for you and your back. And then just bring your awareness to the whole of the body. Feeling the body softening, relaxing. And then bring your awareness to the body, the parts of the body in contact with the floor. And just allow your body to sink down into that support, down to the ground, down to the earth. Just allowing the body to feel heavy. Allowing yourself to rest. Soft, easy breath. And just slowly bring awareness to the breath. Following the breath as it flows in and out of the body. And just bring awareness to the whole of the body. The sensation of the air against your skin. The sensation of your clothes against your skin. And just once more bring awareness back to the whole of the body. And then the parts of the body that are in contact with the floor. And just keep your awareness there. Really feeling that support beneath your body. And then just maybe stay still, or maybe a gentle head roll from side to side. That's nice and slow and easy. And then slowly come back to stillness. Pause in here. Maybe stay here. Maybe hug the knees in towards the chest. See what's calling out for you right now. It may be that you'd like to come into a full body stretch. Maybe you just like to bend the knees with the feet flat on the floor and just do a very, very gentle knee roll. What's calling out to you right now? And then wherever you are, we'll meet my feet flat on the floor and then just gently roll to one side, whichever side feels comfortable for you. Just pause here for a moment. Take a nice deep breath in here, big sigh out through the mouth. And then slowly and carefully with your eyes closed, just crawl your way up, either to kneeling, easy seated, cross-legged, maybe grab a block to sit on or a cushion. Keep those eyes closed, lengthen the spine, crown of the head towards the ceiling, have a little wiggle from side to side so the weight becomes even on both seat bones. Bring the hands to the knees, keep that spine nice and long. Take a nice deep breath in, nice and easy exhale. And let's just come back to our seat bone hip circles, our Sophia grind. You can even bring the lower arms to the thighs. Let's just do one more in this direction. And then just slowly change direction. And then just slowly come back, nice and tall, face is soft. Bring the hands together, hands through to heart center, allow the thumbs to connect to the heartbeat. Soften the fingers, soften the elbows, shoulders. And just bring your awareness back to that breath. The breath flowing in, the breath flowing out. In and out. Just keep that forehead soft. Just keeping the focus on the breath. Thank you very much for allowing me to guide you through your practice. Take a nice deep breath in, a big sigh out through the mouth. Slowly bow the head to the fingertips. Inhale, big sigh out. May you be happy, may you be healthy, and may you find peace within. Just slowly flutter your eyes open, maybe gaze at the floor or your fingertips. Just allow your eyes to grow accustomed to the light. Slowly bring the head all the way up, from my heart to yours. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really hope you enjoyed that flow, and I shall see you soon, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.